Alright, so here we go. Some of you are wondered what it's like on these bike rides that I do. So I decided to use my GoPro since I found it. And I usually ride on streets. I only go on bike trails really when Sharon is with me. She doesn't like riding on streets, but I do try to find these bike lanes at least. I had to wake up at 6 in the morning just to actually ride when it's cool because it's been so hot. So right here, it was literally about 6:35. The sun rose at 6:30. This is about 6:35. It actually looks brighter here than what it actually did. I'm surprised it was actually a little dark, which is why I have my lights blinking, my rear red and my front white blinking. Matter of fact, even in the daytime, I use my blinking lights because I ride on the street so much. I mean, on a bike trail, not really necessary. But because I ride a lot of street, I always use my lights. And you can't go cheap, guys, on the rear light. I get the brightest that there is. And remember, I think it was a $35 coupon. And I ended up buying, it was a $75 rear light. And that's expensive, but it was bright. But it had $35 discount. And even then, it's a little pricey, but how can you put a price on safety? Especially on this street. I take different streets. This is one of the streets I do, but just for this little stretch is probably where I'm most cautious, which is why I have that rear radar on my seat post. So even as far as 2 blocks away, I know when a car's coming because I see it on my computer screen. It's a bike computer. It sits right in front of my phone, and it alerts me that there's a car coming up. And I can see how fast or how slow it is by looking at my screen, and it beeps, and then it turns red on the side, and then it turns green once the car passes me. So that stretch in here, this is one of the rides I do. This is probably the most, I'm not gonna say dangerous, it's not dangerous, but the most where I'm very cautious. And then I go into residential from this point once I turn left here. And it's pretty calm after that. But it's been so hot, I got up early, so I ride at different times. I take different streets. I chose to do a short ride because I knew I had the GoPro, and believe it or not, sitting on top of my helmet, it feels heavy and awkward, even though it's really light. So I didn't want to do a really long ride because it'd probably end up hurting my neck. Well, I know that's kind of weird because it's a little tiny camera, but see, look, it alerted me. I don't know if you saw that, but it alerted me that a car's, see it? See those lights on? That about 2 blocks back. So see it right here, I start hugging the side because I know that the car's coming. I can see on my screen a little icon showing me how close it's getting to me. And here it goes. And then it turns green on my screen. So now I can kind of relax and ride in a little bit closer to the middle of the road where it's less bumpy. I don't know how cool it was, but it felt really nice. I mean, having to get up that early for a bike ride is, I mean, it's all the difference in the world. I mean, riding a bike at 90 degrees or 80 something degrees, it's not fun. And I feel like you get tired for the wrong reasons, because you get tired of the sun, not even tired from the workout. And I just like getting up early. You can see those homeless encampments right there. So as you guys know, I'm conditioning for the bike ride from San Francisco to Santa Monica. I mean, but either way, I mean, I've been riding my bike since 2014. I ride it pretty often. I mean, aside from getting really busy in ministry, I wish I could ride 5 times a day, and on a perfect week I do ride 5 times a day, but realistically it's probably 3 times a week that I actually get to ride. It's a lot of fun, guys. Some time to reflect and think. Listen to audible books, listen to music. Sometimes no music at all, just relax. You know, a lot of times a few people that don't cycle much, they'll say, man, how can you ride on those little skinny tires? And look at all that mess right there from those encampments. And here's why the thin tires, in case you wonder, is the fatter the tire, the more resistance. You know, the more of the tire that's touching the street, the harder it's going to be to pedal, because it's all that resistance. So the tires I'm using are very thin and very slick. But if I turn, there's a little bit of grip on the sides, which makes sense, because the only time I'm going to use the sides of the tires if I'm turning. So that's where the grip needs to be. If I'm going straight, I don't really need grip. So those tires are for least resistance, but you'd be surprised how they grip the road. Oh, there's my shadow. You can tell it's really early because the shadow's long. This is a really, sometimes I like going through this neighborhood because it's very industrial on one end and houses on the other. So there's not much traffic at all. As you can see, I mean, since I turned on the street, there's not been one car. Other than when I went under the freeway, there was one car, but I'm not sure how fast I'm going here. But anyways, I'm conditioning for the ride. But I really gotta, I know I keep saying this, but I gotta raise the bar. I did these 8 miles only because of the camera, but I'm trying to hit 20 miles on every ride from now on, at the very least. And then I gotta start throwing in at least one ride a week that is, you know, above that, every 35, 50 miles. There was a family up here, and they're not there anymore. Me and Sharon brought them some food and waters right there where that pole is at, but I noticed they were gone. They were all right there. It was like a family of 3. Wonder where they went. One day it was really hot, and I saw them, so when we came back, I told Sharon, we need to bring some cold drinks. We brought them cold drinks. Look at that old phone booth. It's interesting right here because when I grew up, there's only 2 entrances into this neighborhood right here, and it was very dangerous right here in Stockton back in the late 80s and 90s. I mean, maybe even earlier than that. So this is one way in, and there's only one way in, and you'll see where I go out. But I'm not sure how it is now. I mean, obviously it's not dangerous at 6:30 in the morning, but actually in the daytime it wasn't, because there was a park down there, and there's this kiddie land where I used to take my kids when they were little, mostly my daughters, because when my other kids were little, I was in prison. But at night or on weekends, probably wasn't smart to go here unless you knew somebody there, which I actually used to have a friend. You'll see what I'm talking about. But yeah, it'd be a bad idea to do something bad. See, those are all projects right there on the right side. And it's a lot cleaned up. You should have seen the way it looked in the 90s. It was insane. There'd be gang members, I mean, all through there. I'm sure they probably cleaned it up, honestly. Because even it just looks cleaner than it used to back in the day. Yeah, Lewis Park. Nice park, actually. I mean, here and there you're gonna have people living out of their cars nowadays. See, I know that car's behind me, not just because of shadow, but my radar was letting me know. So that's why I'm hugging the shoulder there. See, the lights on my computer are lit up red. And then they turn off once the car passes, and it starts beeping. Very, very convenient technology there. It's made by Garmin, actually. It's a Garmin, the box right here on my desk. It's a Varia RVR 315 by Garmin. You connect it to your bike computer and it alerts you. It can save your life, man. Now turning into Lewis Park. There's somebody living under their car, white SUV. See, I mean, it's a nice looking park. Like I said, during the days, I think like it's a lot better nowadays than it used to be. See that little mountain over there? It's a man-made little, that's Pixie Woods. It's like a kiddie land. It has a train, it has that little boat ride, and you have to pay to get in, but it's full of different slides and all kinds of stuff. I went there as a kid myself, and man, I used to love it. Going with my cousins and my brother, my little brother Angel. There's another person living out of their car. I was gonna drive in the parking lot so you can see, but noticed the gate was locked. I didn't feel like going over the grass on my bike, so I just kept it moving. And I was like, well, maybe the second gate's open, but it was closed also. So I just kept going. A lot of school field trips. That's why the parking lot's big. Usually there's buses there and stuff. At least it used to be. Everything's changed now. This was a little hard to ride because the sun was in my eyes. Thank God I had my sunglasses on. So this is the backside of the projects now. And this is the only way out. So this way and the other way, that's it. See, it's surrounded by a river. So there's nowhere to go. So back in the day when people would do something to somebody or whatever, You'd have to fight your way out. I imagine it was probably hard getting away too if police were after you, because all they have to do is block those two entrances and you're locked into this little peninsula island. Yeah, man, I apologize about that sun in your eyes. It wasn't as bad for me because I have these prescription Oakleys with that sun glare on it, I guess. I don't know what it's called. It's really bright on the GoPro. There's a river there on the left. And here I'm exiting. There's the other. There's only one way in. Well, that one and the other one. That's it. Picked up some speed. I don't know if you could tell, but it was a little down. So I got up to about 19, 20 miles an hour here. Now I'm going back up, so I start slowing down. This is like a little levee road. I like going on this whenever I do take this way, because there's usually no cars at all. I'm surprised if there's even one. It's a pretty nice ride. I didn't like getting up that early, but once I was out there, I was glad I got up early because it was a really nice cool breeze. I'm telling you, when you go on a ride in the sun, it's too hot, it drains you. Personally, I enjoy riding with Sharon instead of alone. But I mean, these are enjoyable.
Morning.
It almost looks like an alley. I ride this all the way to the end, and then I have to go down into the residential area again. Like I said, when I do this route, I choose streets that are less trafficked. That's what I look for. So see how this is way different than how this video started in that busy street. The guy walking his dog. I think this is the end, so I have to go down into the residential. Speed down. I end up hitting about 20 miles an hour here, 21. Gotta turn a quick left. These speed bumps, man, I don't like them. Nice little neighborhood here. You can tell the scenery's changed. That's how quickly neighborhoods change. What was I, 3 minutes away from the projects? And now look, brick houses, green grass. Which is probably a little safer for me to ride on, but like I said, it's 6:30 in the morning. Everywhere's safe at that time, pretty much, at least here. I don't know about other cities. And then I drive up to a busy street, but I turn left. I don't know. That way I don't have to cross it. I think it's coming up. You know, when I started cycling, it was kind of by accident, sort of. I wanted to lose weight, and I joined a gym back in 2014, maybe 13. And yeah, I think in 2013. I think right here I'm at 4.1 miles. So I think I stopped at this bridge to catch my breath. Usually I stop here when I do take this route. Anyways, I joined a gym, and I told myself I'd do 30 minutes of cardio, 30 minutes of weight training. The cardio was so boring, the treadmill, the stationary bikes, that I would make excuses from 30 minutes to 20 minutes to 15 minutes to 10 minutes. And finally I said, oh, what if I just get a bike and ride to the gym? Because the gym was 3 miles away. So I went to Walmart, got myself a $99 mountain bike. That thing was metal, heavy, and I did 1 mile and thought I was gonna have a heart attack. But I kept doing it, and finally I built up an endurance to do the 3 miles to the gym, 3 miles back. So that would do my cardio. I'd end up with, I think it was 3.5 miles, 7 miles, 3.5 each way. So I'd do 7 miles in a workout. And I started liking cycling more. I mean, I enjoy weights, don't get me wrong. Weights are fun. But there was just something about cycling that just felt freeing, liberating. It would help my mind think, you know, and it's just nice. It doesn't even matter. I mean, don't worry about the miles, just the ride. Enjoy the ride. Oh yeah, there's my glasses. You can see them. They're prescriptions. Thank God for Sister Jessica at the church. Got us a discount. I used to have to ride with my prescription glasses, and it felt heavy riding. And those are real light, and they just wrap around my head nicely. Not sure what I'm doing here. Maybe I was checking something on my phone, I think I was listening to an Audible. I have a heart monitor on my arm. You can't tell, but on the computer that says it had a little red thing. And it always lets me know my heart rate. Usually it's on a good ride, it goes up to the 130s. But when I rode Truckee, Lake Tahoe to Truckee that time with Sister Laura and Sister Veronica and Sharon and Alex, and then we're following in the SUV. There was one portion I got nervous. My heart rate went up to 159. Has never been that high. And I think because the oxygen is so thin, I couldn't get enough air. It felt weird. I never felt like that before. I really got nervous. Oh, I think I threw on the devotional because I forgot what I'd said. That's what I did. I took the Audible off and I put the devotional because I was like, oh, sometimes I listen to it to see what the heck I talked about. It was around here where I decided that I wasn't going to do 20 miles because it was early enough to do it. It was cool enough to do it, but the camera was making my neck feel weird. I didn't like it, and I knew I wasn't really gonna like it if I did even 16 miles. So usually when I do 20, maybe I'll go straight here, but I decided to cut it short and turn right. Yeah, so this ended up being, I think, 8, close to 9 miles. Gotta look both ways. Always safety, man. You only get one life. Like I said, I try to, even though I ride on streets, I try to stick to residentials where I know it's less traffic. I mean, once in a while I gotta cross a major street, but for the most part I try to stay in residential areas. This is a major street here. So I look both ways a few times and quickly get across. Yeah, well, believe it or not, it's just really relaxing. I think the number one thing is it's not a race. You know, just go at your own pace. Just ride. You know, I'm not trying to speed here. I'm not trying to go slow either. I'm just trying to find my average pace. Sometimes I'll choose a shorter ride, like say 6 miles, and I push myself. And then sometimes I'll get longer rides and just go more casual. It just, you know, you don't let your body get used to a certain speed. But this is my average pace right here, what I'm doing right here. I'm not really speeding. Oh, okay. I don't know what happened right here, but it skipped. And I'm here resting at the university. Morning, how's it going?
Pretty good. How you doing today?
Really good. This guy
Just resting
introduced himself.
Yourself?
I didn't realize
How many miles
he
you
was
putting on today?
professor. He's a professor there at the university, and he rides 13 miles
Oh, really?
to work. Yeah, he's telling me he runs that department, the master's program. He teaches fitness injury or something like that. Great conversation, but he had to get to work and I had to get home. So, going through the university. Again, I choose it because there's not much traffic. And then right here, I like this road because there's a bike lane. Which makes it really convenient, a little safer. Seems like the sun's out, but actually it was still cool. It was still 7 something in the morning. Part of me regretted putting the GoPro on because then I probably would have went longer. But it's all right. I've been wanting to do a ride with the GoPro so you guys can see what it's like. And I just thought it'd be fun to do this commentary. This is kind of a busy street here, but I wasn't going to be on it very long. This is one of the main roads through the university, which is probably why there's traffic. I had to get to the left side. Yeah, turn around, nothing's there. Because I'm going to turn left into a residential area. Not really supposed to ride on the opposite end, but I knew I was going to turn right where that truck turned. Right here. Back to residential. This is the end of the video, guys. It's coming to a close. Appreciate you guys riding along with me. This is what my rides are like. Get on your bike. Try it. And if you just do 1 mile, that's okay. Do it until you do 2. All right, guys.